Well, hi there. This is a Bidoof, and if you know anything about it, you know it's one of those more, shall we say, a controversial Pokemon species out there, especially for a normal type. I'm sure you've heard someone say this. They're dumb looking, they're too goofy, they're boring. Really only good as workers and holders of HMs, nothing more. But I'm here to say, no. I think Bidoof are stinkin' rad, and they get a bad rap. Bidoof may not seem like the most clever Pokemon out there, but they are industrious and charismatic little creatures. But, is this little goofball a good pet? And is the plump mouse Pokemon the best pet normal type for you? That's what we're here to find out today. And to figure that out, we'll have to score Bidoof on our 5 categories, which are handleability, care, hardiness, availability, and upfront costs. When it comes to handleability, we give the Bidoof a score of 4 out of 5. Although it does have strong incisor teeth that give it quite a nasty bite, that is not the reason we knocked off a point. Bidoof have near infinite patience and are not easily perturbed, so the chances of it biting you are pretty slim, but not zero. No, the main problem is that Bidoof are surprisingly agile, and while they are social enough creatures and don't mind being held, if it wants to escape from your hands, it's probably going to. But for the most part, your attempts to snuggle your Bidoof will be met with a, "Oh, this is happening now. Okay, yeah, this is fine." When it comes to care, we give the Bidoof a score of 2.5 out of 5. This is rather low for a normal type. Normal types usually eat the same food that you would eat, since you are, also a normal type. Probably. But food isn't really the issue here. The main issue is those incisor teeth I mentioned earlier. They grow at a rapid rate, much like its cousin, the Rattata. In the wild, Bidoof will gnaw on wood and stones to grind down its teeth, and so they don't usually grow much to hurt the Pokemon. This does cause a problem, though, because your house is also probably made out of wood and stone. You can see where I'm going with this. Now, it is possible to socialize your Bidoof to not eat your house, but again, not easily perturbed. And if a Bidoof wants to eat your house, it is going to eat your house. Give them logs and stones to gnaw on. Make sure to clean them before giving them to them so they don't have any diseases. And just do your best to communicate what is acceptable to bite. They may seem a bit simple, and they are, but they're certainly not the least trainable normal type out there. That would be the human, for those of you keeping track. There are a few other major issues too. Bidoof are natural swimmers, and they just like being near bodies of water. You may not own a pool or river, but a bathtub should be fine. Just make sure it's kept clean. Bidoof tend to shed. This also means you may not be able to use your bathtub as much as you would like. They are also very social creatures, usually living in groups in the wild, so you may want to consider getting more than one. That could be a lot of Bidoof, but otherwise your Bidoof might get lonely. And before you ask, no, you do not fill in for another Bidoof. No matter how great you are to be around, there's just not enough time in the day. Lastly, Bidoof tend to build dams in the wild. This is really impressive and stinkin' rad behavior for a Pokemon in the wild. As a pet, you might return home from work one day to find that your doorway is blocked by a new dam, made out of your furniture. Or, if you've failed to differentiate what's good to bite, scraps of what used to be your furniture. Just tear them down, though this will probably make your Bidoof a little grumpy. When it comes to hardiness, we give the Bidoof a score of 5 out of 5. Feed it, give it some water, make sure it has a way to grind down those teeth, and you'll be just fine. Bidoof are hardy little fellas, and they can handle a lot. And again, if you don't help it grind down those teeth, it will find a way. When it comes to availability, we give the Bidoof a score of 5 out of 5. If you live in Sinnoh or Kalos, take a walk outside, maybe to your closest river, you will probably find a Bidoof. Hell, they'll probably find you. They'll just walk up to you and stare at you with their adorable, goofy little expressions. But like I said earlier, Bidoof are quite popular to use for work as well. Construction and tree cutting are common uses for the Bidoof, so they're commonly bred as well, if you would prefer captive bred to wild caught, which you should. When it comes to upfront costs, we give the Bidoof a score of 5 out of 5. Like I said, they're very common, and even if you went out to your local river to catch one, they can be easily caught in just simple Pokeballs. It won't break the bank. If you wanted to make an actual enclosure for your Bidoof, costs would raise considerably to make a safe pool, but again, a bathtub is just fine. They're simple creatures. They don't need toys. Just get a log, and I find that those aren't usually expensive. And that is why we give the Bidoof a score of 4.3 out of 5. An extremely respectable score for a normal type, which can be filled with plenty of high-effort Pokemon. But if what you want is a pet that is a little less like a pet and more like a cute, fuzzy roommate who occasionally eats your chairs, then Bidoof might just be the perfect pet normal type for you. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you real soon.